Do any of you remember this clip?
Let's go! Owen, don't go heaven!
Where do you want me?
Dude, I have the worst
I got
luck ever.
smoked.
No, yeah, but if you are smoked, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. This sentence alone could summarize GOB B's philosophy to the game. Anyone who watched Big in the last few years must have had the same thought. Big plays so sluggish, unresponsive and slow. I will go into why and how we got here. If you plot Big's world ranking compared to the different coaches Big had, it will paint a very clear picture. Since GOB B became coach in early of 2020, Big moved from world ranking number 46 to number 1 in a matter of months. Then GOB B left from Big in September of 2021, and after some changes GOB became coach in May of 2020. At first there were promising signs, but since the win at the online Roulette Cup, it has been a dry spell, dropping as low as 55 and 38 in the world ranking. I think the main reason for that was GOB B's philosophy to the game. It's easy to blame everything that goes wrong on the coach, but I think this time it's mostly true. A very old way of looking at the game. The best example for this would be the analogy of a chess match, where the players are the pieces and GOB B is the mastermind behind them. This way of thinking is very antiquated and probably was never the best approach. I'm going to go off topic here, but please keep watching, I promise it is important. In the 19th century, Prussia had a bunch of reforms aimed at reforming the military, which were extremely effective. One of which was to give the individual soldier more freedom to make tactical decisions on the spot and in the moment, moving away from a top-down principle. Generals were not playing chess games against each other anymore, and the reforms brought new flexible units. I think you can convert this idea to Counter-Strike. We now have players with insane game sense who don't need tactical maneuvering all the time. Coming back to the clip I showed you at the start,
If you are smoked, doesn't matter.
even if what you did worked out perfectly, it doesn't matter. Some of that following the plan without questioning is good to have, but there's a limit to it. You need to trust the individual, otherwise you become extremely predictable, which Big has been struggling a lot from. Counter-Strike is not like chess, where the better strategy always wins. There's randomness. Sometimes you die in Counter-Strike and you did everything right, because in 90% of cases you get the kill. Another big problem in the last few years was inconsistency, which in my mind mostly comes down to confidence issues, which is extra apparent when SyrsoN is playing. There hasn't been a good AWPer for Big since 2020, and that includes how SyrsoN is playing right now. And while the individuals are partly to blame, I have another thesis why this has been the case. If you got your mastermind playing chess at the top and you kind of follow it blindly, it will affect your confidence negatively. Think about this. Let's say you got the call for the round, we're doing tactic A like we practiced. You follow your position, you do what you have to do. If everything works out, it's not you who won the round, it's the tactic. Other way around, if you fail to do your task and the round is lost, it's not the tactic's fault. If only you had fulfilled your position, the tactic would have worked. Especially for an AWPer, this can be devastating to their confidence. So where do we stand? What does Big need for the future? I personally believe that the individuals are good enough to be a tier 1 team again. I think you could argue that SyrsoN has to be removed. He really had all the time in the world to fix his inconsistencies. He's currently the worst rated player at Big. At the end of the day, every team needs some time to get it right. And Big has been shuffling players like they were playing poker. So my suggestion to Big is stay with this roster. Have a good coach who uses more of the individual skill of the player and has a good understanding of what the players need. Big needs to be flexible and agile again. Don't stick to a plan like your life depends on it. And GOB B, please come back.